Welcome back to Seller Sessions. I am your host today, Sharon Even. In today's video slash podcast, I will be addressing the current situation with the recession. So on Tuesday, a couple of days ago, I was a guest on the show Seller Sessions with Danny, the main host of the show, together with Ken Golzari and Adam Heist. And we spoke about product research with the recession in mind. But I want to speak about the people who are already selling on Amazon and current situation and what I've been seeing. And I also wanted to give some tips. So I am very, very lucky in the sense that I have my footprint in many, many different types of niches because I do one-on-one coaching as well as selling on Amazon myself and selling online in general. But the fact that I do coaching allows me to see a wide range of categories, totally different products, not related to one another. You know, it can be all the way from exercise to decor to storage type products to camping to beauty to just so many different things. And it's interesting to see there's a certain shift that I've seen that has also almost been, now the type of people I usually don't sort of coach, or they don't really come to me for coaching, are the really hardcore typical Me Too types of products. So for example, you know, the people that sell like, I don't know, phone cases, or a garlic press. Those types of people don't usually come to me. But anyway, the point is that I've had a lot of panicky calls in the last month. A lot of people who have seen a decrease in sales. Some it would be 10 to 15%. Some it's been all the way up to 50%. And also it depends on what you're comparing it to, whether you're comparing it to pre-COVID or whether you're comparing it to last year, which would have been COVID. And then the certain shift that I've seen in the last month has been that products that would usually be more design dependent, which I usually call it, may have become suddenly design and price dependent. And I just want to say I'm sick. I've got a really bad cold. So if you hear the sniffling once in a while, I'm really sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, so let's talk about that. So I say that there's usually, I've said it many times on, you know, both my YouTube channel and on Seller Sessions, products are usually either price dependent, review dependent, or design dependent. And what that means is when the buyer goes through the buying decision and they need to decide whether they're going to buy you or someone else, or they're even going to click on you or someone else, usually there is something within that niche where it's either whoever's the cheapest usually gets the most sales, whoever has the most reviews. That's a lot of products that can be like beauty products, baby products, supplements, things like that. Not only, but many do rely on reviews in those. And then there's products that are design dependent, where it doesn't matter if you have 0 reviews. It doesn't matter if you're obviously not 100% more expensive than everyone else, but you can be 20, even 30%, sometimes 50% more expensive than everyone else. But because your differentiation or design or whatever it may be, usually it would be a design differentiation, is so huge and there's no competition on a design level, you can get away with it. There's a coughing. So sorry, guys. So what I've seen in the last month or so specifically is I have seen products that had really good sales, for example, but were a little bit more expensive than the competitors. There has been a shift where that niche may have become a little bit more price dependent. Now, this is very specific to specific niches. It's not for all. For example, I have a client that sells, I'm just going to go broad and just say it's in the yoga niche. and he's killing it. And it's a lot. The products that he brought in launched 2 months ago, and it's just been an amazing launch, a really, really good launch. And his entire niche is doing well. We're also seeing other people who have launched recently or who have already been selling for a long time, and that increase that they've been waiting for hasn't come. A lot of people obviously don't have an increase in sales in Q4. I, for example, with my beauty products, they're stable throughout the year, and the peak is usually in the summer and not in Q4. So I'm not waiting for that peak because it doesn't arrive, right? And in Q4. But there's some people that usually do. They've been selling on Amazon for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever, more than 2 years. You've got enough data to compare. And suddenly they're not seeing that increase. Now, if you started your brand during COVID, obviously you don't have anything to compare it to apart from COVID numbers, which may have not been realistic numbers. They may have gone up. Sorry, again, so sorry. I know I'm sick and I'm really, really sorry. Remember that during COVID, we had 2 years of major increases in certain niches, right? We did speak about this in the last podcast where Adam Heiss brought up a image, and he showed how the numbers, certain numbers compared to search volume, compared 2021 compared to 2022. And you could see how there was a decrease in demand on certain things in 2022. It doesn't mean that there's an actual decrease. It's just, it's correcting itself. There was a huge increase by huge percentages, especially in things like toys and games, home office, etc. There was and pets, huge increase during COVID, and now life is going back to normal. Most countries, we're going to focus specifically on America. America doesn't have lockdowns anymore. People are losing their jobs. It's totally not funny, but there's already tens of thousands. Yes, America's huge, but it's only getting worse. A lot of people are losing their jobs. The economy, it's going through a recession. Demand has gone down compared to COVID. So there's a lot of people sitting there waiting, expecting COVID numbers where it's not going to be COVID numbers. That's one. Two, maybe you're not waiting for it to compare to COVID numbers. You're just waiting for it to compare to before, and it's not. So I don't know. I can't say. I don't know what your product is, so I don't know what the main reason for that is, but I did want to give a few things to look out for. So number one, I want to say that you need to realize, one of the biggest mistakes I find with sellers is either when sales go down or something happens to their listing, they don't look at their niche, their market, or their competitors. They just look at themselves. They're like, my sales have gone down. Okay, it must be the PPC. Okay, it must be my listing. And they don't look at the competitors. They don't go in and type in the search term, look at the niche, and see if anything's changed. They don't do that. In order to understand why your sales have gone down, you have to look at your market as a whole. You need to see what the competitors have done. Has something happened in the niche? Has the demand go down, right? Don't only use Helium-10. Also go in and look at Amazon's numbers, right? You can go in and you look at the brand analytics. You can go in and you should be going in and using also the search query performance dashboard, which we've spoken about both on my YouTube channel and in the Seller Sessions one as well. Go in and look at the numbers. Compare them, the search volumes, to last year. Compare them to on years ago. If you're someone who tracks search volume, I've been selling since 2016 and we track search volume. So if you track search volume, great, you have something to compare it to. If you don't, go back and have a look and whatever tools you use as far back as you can and have a look on that. And you need to understand, has the demand gone down? Has something happened within my niche? Have competitors put down their pricing? Has something happened to competitors giving better value? That yoga product that I spoke about that's doing a really great launch. I asked myself, why is the launch so good compared to other products that I've been a part of their launch in the last couple of months? And I've come to the conclusion that it's the value for money. It's a bundled product. There's more differentiation than just the bundled, but the fact that it is bundled and the price is still very, very attractive because it's still a profitable price. I've come to the conclusion that's a part of it. So it's not only a beautiful, beautiful design, but we've also, we've solved a headache from for the customer needing to buy multiple things. And also it's great value for money. And that's the reason why I believe it's been doing so well. I've seen a shift currently where people want value for money more than before. I've seen it, and the way that I've seen it is either certain competitors that usually didn't do that well suddenly are doing better. Also from reading a lot of different blogs as well around buying and buying decisions, etc. At this point in time. And also from the data that I'm seeing of certain people whose sales have gone down. I've been seeing that suddenly, well, I already said this, but I'm going to go more in depth about it. Sorry, I almost had a blackout, trying to get back into it. I'm not feeling 100% today. Maybe I shouldn't have recorded, but we'll go with the flow. I'm suddenly seeing how people that certain products that may have only sold, their BSR may have been a lot higher than others, suddenly has gone a lot lower. And they're not anything special, but they're at the right price for this time frame, and they've got enough reviews for them to be able to get away with it, and it's impacted someone else's sales. Someone who may have been more expensive, more reviews, better design, let's just say, but currently maybe the customer doesn't have to have that design. They'll compromise on something else. I'd be super, super interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you're watching this live, love for you to comment. Even though I'm not recording this live, I will watch it back live and you can comment and I'll answer. And also find me and let me know. I'm really interested to see even wider than what have people been seeing. So first thing I encourage you to do is have a look at your actual market, right? Understand if it's, something's happened in your specific niche. Second thing, have a look at demand. We spoke about those two things. Demand, you'd have a look through search volume and search demand. The next thing that I would encourage you to do now, if your sales have gone down, obviously, at least what you can do is try to optimize your profit as much as possible. And that's actually another thing. It leads me to actually another thing that just came to my mind, is that I see sometimes, I'll say to a customer, look, you can get away with this product with this and this price point, but there's a shift in the market. And even though, you've got the best design, etc., there's something happening right now within the market. And I suggest that you decrease your price a little bit. And let's just say that person has 35% profit margin. And I'm telling them to decrease their price to a place where it may take them to 30 or 29. And I see suddenly the shock in their face. But I'll only have 29% profit margin. If you don't make some sort of change, you're not going to have any profit margin soon, right? So also, and I've been there, I have to say, I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm speaking from experience, but I've been there. I've been there where there's been a shift in a niche. This happened a couple of years ago in one of my niches where we were the most expensive by a lot. And new competitors were coming in at a much cheaper price point. And my husband told me, let's just try to put the price down a little bit. And I was super against it, the same way I was against the first time when he told me to increase it. And it was something that we eventually needed to do. And it took 2 years until I was like, okay, I get it. We're going to lose ranking if we don't make some sort of change. We're way too expensive now. We got away with it for many, many years. So I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes you need to, there's a bit of a shift. You may have gotten away with it for a while, and sometimes you need to decrease the price. All right. That's kind of what I'm getting to. It's either that, or you need to increase the value that the customer thinks that they're getting or are receiving by buying your product. Sometimes it could be a matter of adding a product that only costs $1 or $2, but allows you to stay at that price point, right? Or allows you to ask for a little bit more. People today want value for their money. It's important to for many, many niches. Now, it's so hard. It's so hard for me to make these videos and these podcasts because I don't know what you sell when you listen to this, right? And sometimes the advice I may be giving you may be the total opposite for your specific niche. So it's hard, okay? I'm kind of giving as broad as I can at this moment. But sometimes It's not a matter of decreasing your price. Sometimes it's a matter of giving more value to the customer by adding in something else. Okay. You may also be selling something and you give a gift with the product. And to date, you haven't shown that gift in the listing. And maybe it's time that you do show it in the listing, right? Because you want to add more value. Obviously, another thing that you want to make sure you're doing is optimizing your listing, optimizing your PPC. Some people may be listening to this. They may be selling for 3-4 years and they've always gotten away with an average listing. Okay, and suddenly that average listing isn't converting for many different reasons. Part of it could be because of the recession. And maybe it's time, not maybe, if you're in that scenario, it probably is time to optimize, invest in better images, invest in better keywords, go and do, keyword research and see what are you missing out on. Optimize your PPC. These are all options. You need to know your product. You need to go in and have a look. Go in, compare yourself to others, have a look at your conversion rate. Are you getting clicks? If you're getting clicks but you're not converting, you have a conversion problem. If you're getting clicks and you are converting, but you've got really, really high ACOS and super, super high PPC spend, then it's not a conversion problem, right? It could be rather a bid problem, a price problem. And that's a whole different podcast. Okay. But if you have a conversion problem, go in and see, well, what can I fix? Okay. Maybe you already had a conversion problem before and now it's a million times worse because of the recession. So these are things that you need to go in and you need to fix. Okay. And then sometimes someone asks me, well, I want to know if it's even worth fixing. You won't know until you try it. You won't know until you do it most of the time. Most of the time, not all. I'm super careful with what I'm saying. Another thing I want to say is maybe you've been selling, online, not just on Amazon, but online for a while. And you had a really, really great go for years. And the last couple of months, your sales have gone down a lot because of the recession. For example, especially if you're a higher ticket product. And you've never done external traffic. You've never worked with influencers. You've never worked with YouTubers. You've never had a social media account. You've never done TikTok. You've never done anything apart from rely on Amazon. Okay. Now's a great time. Great time to get on Amazon Canada. Great time to expand into different markets. Great time to get into Walmart, into Etsy. To use that email list that you've had sitting there with, 10,000 emails and never used it before. Now's a great time to work harder, right? It could have been that it was easier to make money, and today you got to work a little bit harder, okay? And sometimes people hear that and they're like, but I don't want to, but you kind of need to sometimes. And this may be that time for you. You need to know. I can't, make a podcast that's right for everyone, okay? But I'm just giving you things to think about. What have you not done till now that could help to increase your sales? Okay, remember that if you're just, I'm careful with the way I say this. If all you do is sell on Amazon, okay, and you're really just an Amazon seller, and I don't say that disrespectively, but you're an Amazon seller, okay? You're not necessarily a brand builder or things like that. If all you have is random products that you started selling in 2015 and 2016, maybe the next tip I'm giving you won't work. If you're someone who's built a brand around a specific buyer avatar, around a specific niche, there's probably also offline that you could do as well. Get into specialty stores, right? Get into stores if you can, right? Go on LinkedIn and look for what's the word I'm looking for for the people that you speak to in order to get your products into store. I've just forgotten the title of it. Like I said, I'm sick. My mind's not 100% right now. And reach out. Go to fairs, right? Rent a booth that makes sense for your buyer avatar. Okay, if you've got, tens of thousands of stock, or whatever it may be, okay? Do more if you need to right now. I had one more tip, but I feel like my mind's dead. So I'm going to leave it at that. But my main point here is, and of course, I'm filming this a week before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I did say before the October Prime Day that it'll be interesting to see how this November goes, because we're after October Prime Day, before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Maybe it was just a quiet month for some people because people were waiting for Black Friday, Cyber Monday to come. And that's it. And maybe this is what it's going to be like for the next couple of months, years. I don't know. Okay, I'm not God. I can't, unfortunately, tell the future. But I can try and give you tools, and those are my tools. So, hope this helped someone. Absolutely would love to hear what you guys have to say. Feel free to find me and reach at me anywhere. Sharon Even on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Would love to hear what you have to say. Comment as well. And that's it. I'll see you all next week. And obviously, good luck next week. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'll try and make a video before, but I've already done podcasts in the past about it. Anyway, have a great weekend, guys, and I'll